Moving forward in time, are you aware of a meeting that occurred after that time that related to the feud? The only meeting I know Jimmy and Chris Lighty had. How do you know that? Jimmy told me. And what did he tell you happened? They just had a meeting about this situation, and he said Chris Lighty was asking why he went to that ghetto event anyway, and they exchanged words, and it got out of hand, and Chris mushed him in the face. What do you mean by mushed? Pushed him with his hand in the face? And what happened after that? Nothing, except Puffy broke the meeting up. Who is Puffy? Puffy, Diddy, whatever his name is now. Is that another musician? Yes. Did Jimmy tell you what he was doing at that meeting? He said they had a meeting to talk about the situation, to squash whatever beef it was. And why was Puffy there? To mediate the meeting. Did the meeting end after that point? Yes, as far as I know. I'm going to move you forward a few months again. Did there come a time when you learned of an incident involving Jimmy's son? Yes. What happened? He called me and said, "Dudes just smacked my son." I said, "All right, let me know if you need anything." Where were you when he called you? I was at my office. Do you know what year this occurred? Sometime in 2007. Do you know what month? No. Okay. When he called you, what did he say? He just said, "Dude smacked my son." I said, "Okay, let me know if you need anything." He was like, "All right, I gotta go." And we hung up. How long was that conversation? About a minute. And at that time, had you already begun dealing drugs with Jimmy? No. Did he say who had done it? Who had smacked his son? No. Eventually, did you learn who had smacked his son? Yes. How did you learn? We met face to face and he told me what happened. Who did you meet with face to face? Jimmy. Tell us about that meeting. He just told me that his son was walking up the block and Yayo and two dudes approached him. One reached in his waist like he had a pistol, gun. Another one grabbed him and they smacked him. Did he say who was behind it? He just said Yayo and two dudes. Did he say who those two dudes were? No. Did Jimmy tell you if he did anything to retaliate? Tef was there that day. He said he sent Tef down the block and Tef cut somebody in the face. I think it was supposed to be Chris Lighty's brother or someone related to Chris Lighty. What do you mean by cut? With a razor, cut him in the face. At this time, had you met Jimmy's son? Yes. I'm going to show you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 22. It is actually in evidence as Government Exhibit 1008. Do you recognize the photograph? Uh-huh. Who is this? Jimmy's son. Do you know his name? Jimmy. Do you know his full name? Jimmy Roseman Jr. Do you know where Jimmy's office was located at the time? 25th, between I think 6th and Broadway. What was the name of his company? Czar Entertainment. Do you know the name of the company that managed G-Unit? Yeah, Violator. Where was that company located? The same block right across the street. I'm going to show you a few photographs. Government Exhibit 600A, marked for identification as Government Exhibit 600A. Do you recognize this photograph? Yeah. What is that? Can you zoom it in a little bit? Yeah. What is this photograph? It's the entrance to the office. Which office? Czar. I'm going to show you 600C. This is in evidence. What is this photograph? That's the entrance to Violator. I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as Government Exhibit 600S. Do you recognize this? Yes, it's 11 West. That's our entertainment's office. I'm going to also show you what's been marked for identification as Government Exhibit 600T. That's the block, 25th Street. 25th Street. And do you see where it says 11? Yeah. What is that? That's 11. That's the Zara Entertainment office. That's the church. Can we go back for a moment to Government Exhibit 600A, which is in evidence? Is that the same building? No, that's not the same one. Do you have an understanding of what building this is? Objection. Asked and answered, Your Honor. Yeah, because I can't really tell from that view. I don't know what building that is right there. Your Honor, I made an objection. Thank you, Mr. Choger. I'm happy to move on, Your Honor. Yes. Can we take that down, please? I direct your attention to the spring of 2007. Do you recall an incident where Jimmy was involved in a shooting? I don't know if I would classify it as involved in a shooting, but he was at a banquet. It was at National Action Network banquet. Me, Jason, Teddy, a few other people was at the table. He was like, yo, if anybody asked for me, I went to the bathroom. And he said he got a line on Yayo Mom's house. I'm going to stop you for a moment. What was the banquet you were at, if you recall? National Action Network. It was in Times Square. Who else attended that function? Jason, Teddy, me, a few other people I can't recall. Who was Teddy? Teddy was the guy who worked for Jimmy. Do you know his last name? Coleman. Who was Jason? Jimmy's driver. And what was Teddy's relationship to Jimmy? He worked for him. Where? At Zara Entertainment. Was he involved in the drug operation? No. Showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 6. Who is that? Jason. Can you describe for the jury what happened at that event? He's just like, yo, I got a line on Yayo Mom's crib. He said, Jason going to drive me out there. He said that if anybody asked for me, I'm in the bathroom. He left. We stayed at the banquet. He came back sometime later. I'm going to stop you for a moment. Who left? Jimmy did. Did anyone leave with him? Jason. And who was it who stayed? Me, Teddy, and other people that was at the table. And approximately how long was he gone for? I don't know. It wasn't that long. More than an hour? If that, yeah, if that. What, if anything, did he tell you when he returned to that banquet? He got back to the banquet. After the banquet, we went outside and he was just telling me that he left off like close to 30 rounds in Yayo Mom's crib. When you say crib, what are you referring to? House, Yayo Mom's house. Did he say more about that? He said he didn't hear nothing because he had the silencer. He said, but at the end, the silencer started making some clunk clunk noise. So he said he can't use it no more. What is a silencer? A suppressor so the gun won't make no sound. Did he say what gun he used? He said his Mac. I don't know which one. I never saw it. Whose gun was that? Jimmy's. How do you know? From him telling me. So what, if anything, did he say he wanted to do? He said he needed to replace it. Replace what? The gun. Why was that? Because it started making noise. By that time, had you begun selling drugs with the defendant? I don't know. I can't recall. Did you participate yourself in any other acts of violence against members of G Unit? I had one of their Jeeps burnt, their bulletproof Jeeps. When did that take place? It was in 2007. Jimmy hit me, told me he had an address of one of their Jeeps out in Jersey, not too far from where I live. He said if I could get somebody to burn it for him. When did you say that was? Sometime in 2007. Was it before or after the banquet you had just described? I can't recall. So what did the defendant tell you he had? He had an address on one of their bulletproof Jeeps. So what did you do? I sent someone out there to set it on fire. Where did you say these Jeeps were? In Jersey. It was Inglewood or Teaneck, one or the other. You said you sent someone. Who did you send? I sent Aziz out there. He set it on fire. In relation to when Jimmy's son was slapped, which you told us about earlier, was this before or after that? This was after that. And the defendant you said had an address. Did he give you that address? Yes. How did he give it to you? I can't recall. It was either through the BlackBerry or face-to-face. I can't recall. And what did you do when you got the address? Sent him out there to burn it. I just told Aziz, I said, pour some gasoline on it and light it on fire for me and I'll give you $5,000. Do you know if Aziz in fact did that? Yes. How do you know? He came back and told me. I told Jimmy. He said, all right, he's going to send Jason out there to look at it. Jason went out there and looked at it and confirmed it. What did he confirm? That it was burnt. Did you in fact pay Aziz $5,000? Yeah, I gave him $5,000. Could you say that again? Yes, I gave him $5,000. Were you reimbursed for that $5,000? I had owed Jimmy some money, so I just took it out of that. You took it out of the money you owed Jimmy? Yeah. I think you said it, but what is Aziz's full name? Ronald Ashby. How do you know him? We grew up in the same neighborhood. We was in jail together. Did there come a time when you learned of any other acts of violence similar to that one? Teff had burnt and shot a Jeep up out in Staten Island. Objection, Your Honor. What is the objection? Does he have first-hand knowledge of it? I'm about to establish it. Mr. Toger, I can't understand you. Does he have first-hand knowledge of this, or is he testifying that somebody told him, or did he get it on the internet? Lay a foundation. Yes or no, did there come a time when you learned of that? Yes. And how did you learn about that? From Jimmy and Teff. And did you learn about it in any other way? I saw it on the internet. What did you see on the internet? The incident that transpired in Staten Island. What transpired? Teff shooting up. Objection, Your Honor. The internet was the supplier of the source or lay a proper foundation. Did you speak to Teff about that incident? Yes. What did Teff tell you? Teff told me he shot up the house, this dude Baja's house, shot up the Jeep and burnt it. Did he say where Baja's house was? It was in Staten Island. Do you know Baja? No. Do you know how he was involved, if you know? I just heard that he was at the scene. Do you know if in fact that happened? Yes. How do you know that? I saw the article on the internet. Did anyone else tell you about it? And me and Jimmy discussed it. Do you know if Teff did that by himself or with anyone else? I don't know if he did it with anyone else. I just know that he got arrested leaving the scene. You said that Jimmy initially told you that Yayo and two dudes smacked his son. Did he later tell you who the other dudes were? Just found out after the dude's Lodi Mac got arrested. He was one of the ones. So did there come a time when you learned about those arrests? Yes. How did you learn about them? Jimmy told me about them. What did he say? He said that he was having his son's ma press charges and the dude Lodi Mac and Yayo got arrested for it. Press charges about what? For the assault on his son. Do you know who got arrested, if anyone? Yayo and Lodi Mac. Do you know Lodi Mac's real name? Lowell Fletcher.